Okay, Adam, thanks for being here with us. I'd like to introduce yourself and tell me what you do here.
My name is Adam Bender. I'm the new theater director at the Gryphon Theatre. Handle all the theater booking and everything to do with the Gryphon Theatre.
Okay, even though you're new to this position now, you have worked with the Gryphon Theatre for several years. Is that right?
I've been the audio contractor for going on. I think this is our sixth season. Working with Dave Souls, the old Gryphon Theatre director. And we've done most of the shows, probably 95% of the shows over the last few years. So I've learned kind of how the theater works and how everything goes on here through that process.
And that's your own company, right?
Yeah, my own company, Bender Ruble Sound. We do a lot of contracting around here, but we do most of the stuff at the Gryphon.
And when the Gryphon was starting to kind of get on its legs, were you there for the earliest years, or what was the state of the soundboard and things like that when you first worked?
There wasn't anything like that when we first started working with the Gryphon. We brought in everything, all the speakers, everything. There was nothing other than the stage, and Dave was still, bringing in purchasing lights and trying to make his lighting rig, to what it is now. So, right at the beginning, there wasn't much of anything when it came to equipment or production stuff. So we brought in everything, and that has kind of dialed down over the years. But we still, for the bigger shows, we still bring in, most of the big, heavy stuff.
Okay, but right now it's much more better equipped than it used to be.
Yeah, right now we can run, most of our smaller shows, our comedies, our lectures, stuff like that. There's a in-house sound system, mixer, which the Gryphon has been able to purchase through the years, money from shows, and then the sound system itself, the speakers, and all come from Whitewater Church, who donates that for us to use.
So, I usually think of music concerts at the Gryphon, but you've done a number of different kinds of events. What kinds of events have you been involved in?
Gryphon has done stuff from comedy to film festivals to multiple different kinds of burlesque, dance troupes, theater. A lot of music, various genres of music. They've done a lot. Try to do as much as we can to diversify all the arts.
So when in theater too, and when you do those shows, what's been the difference in terms of the audio or things you had to look out for?
With theater, a lot of times, sometimes it might just be a couple aerial mics or something where it's not a lot of, you're just miking the overall sound versus, a band where you have, multiple inputs. The theater, film, or lecture stuff tends to be one or two channels, pretty simple things, and then your bands, you have, we've had stuff that's been 35 channels. So
right.
It just depends on
And do people make requests of you? Certainly they must. The bands themselves. Or...
Oh yeah, no, that's part of when doing sound. Yeah, I'm on stage with my wireless, my iPad, and I'm able to stand next to the musicians and see what they like and what they want to hear, and so they can request and get things to sound how they want them to sound. So it's easier for them to perform.
Okay.
Everybody has a better time. It's easier for everybody.
And what kinds of bands have come through here? I know there's been some.
There's been bigger acts from Mumford & Sons to Tech Nine to Ryan Bingham, more recently Lake Street Dive, Gregory Alan Isaacoff, and then a ton of mid-level bands that have come through, throughout the years. More recently, Young Dubliners, Rusted Roots, an old, band's been around forever. Band coming back, Home Free. We've done some the Tenors out of England. There's been quite a few mid-level shows, and then our local Wyoming, favorites, whether it be Jelon Crosland or Patty Fiasco or Jay Sjogren and stuff we've had a lot of them in as well.
And is there favorites that you've had or memorable moments in some shows that you did, or you're working at the same time, so it might not be easy to?
Some of it was fun working, working with like Rusted Root, hearing a lot of the songs and stuff you recognize. Working with an act the level of Ryan Bingham was pretty cool when we were first starting out as a sound company. But no, they all are all memorable in their own way. There's plenty, they all have their own little thing that they bring each show. It's nice getting to work with all these different artists and different genres and stuff, and working with an industry with those people.
So now you're in a different role. You're taking over from Dave doing the theater management. What's kind of on the plate right now for you? Things that you're working on?
Right now, I'm just fulfilling all the contractual marketing needs and everything for the shows that Dave has, of course, booked already. Making sure that everything's smooth in that transition, and then moving forward in the spring, I'll start doing more of filling in some dates that aren't already booked. In the spring, we have a lot of stuff already taken with the children's theater and relative theatrics with the theater company. But those dates that we don't have, I will start to fill that stuff in with. Basically, my approach is going to be more, we're going to try to do our bigger acts, but we're going to make sure we incorporate a local act as much as we can, opening up for that act to get the locals more aware and excited about the theater. Also bounce around the idea of doing a locals night, once a month, where we do a different genre of music, but just something where we open up the theater more to that musical crowd, the out and going crowd, that we can draw some more people through our doors. But basically, I'm going to just continue to build on what Dave has done, and then try to bridge the gap with the local artists a little bit more, and try to keep everybody on the same page, because I feel like I'm in tune with a lot of the different parts of the community, being a sound guy. So talking to different venues, whether it be the Cowboy or the Alibi or these other venues, making sure that there aren't big shows going on the same night, that we're not competing, because this market pool doesn't have enough people in it to split that crowd in half and for both places to be successful.
Right, and you don't have to, right?
Yeah, if you're working together, there's plenty of dates. We can work things around each other, and and working together to make sure all the shows are better in Laramie. That way, that will filter down throughout the musical community. Those touring bands making Laramie a destination or a more likable destination. So it's in all of our interest to make sure that each show is better, whether it be whatever venue it be at.
And the local bands that respond to being at the Gryphon, I mean, they do like to be here. And
oh yeah, no, that's part of the relationship that Ben Rubel Sound has with a lot of these bands. We have a very good working relationship with them, so it's not as hard to get them. There's a lot of pain. People have had a lot of painful maybe sound experiences or stuff, and maybe reluctant to do shows or free shows or whatever. But we try to make sure we take care of the musicians the best we can, and translate them to us, getting them an opportunity to play on a big stage, their friends to see them in that atmosphere, and possibly opening up for a band that maybe them or some of their fans grew up or really are following closely right now.
Okay, so last thing I want to ask you is a little bit about your social media. How does the Gryphon reach out to people, and how do people come to you? How do they buy tickets and things like that?
We do all of our ticketing through Ticketfly. You can log on to the gryphontheatre.org website. There's a link there to basically every show and stuff that we have going on. But we do everything is done through Ticketfly. As far as marketing and promotion, we work with WPR, local. We're trying to work with some local businesses. Local rating. We distribute flyers, handbills throughout town, and then we do a lot of Facebook, boosted ads that'll put stuff on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, stuff like that. And then of course our huge mailing list or followers. We heckle them or just send them out emails as much as we can, hoping they share it with all their friends as well. I think word of mouth is what works more than anything in this, especially in Wyoming. So, that's the whole key of making sure everybody's aware that there's actually a show going on, whether it be the Gryphon or any of the other set venues.
Okay, all right, Adam, thanks so much. Good luck in your new position. Thanks for sitting down with us.